as we edge towards the very depths of winter, you could be forgiven for getting a little bit depressed. I mean, it's cold outside, it's dark most of it. It's cold inside, all right? Most of my extremities are a lot smaller. I mean, they're small normally, don't get me wrong, but they're even... These ears are normally twice this size, OK? Winter has a way of making everyone antisocial and smaller, all right? Think about it. And don't even get me started on carol singers.
But we've decided that winter should be celebrated. We should embrace it. So this week, we've used it to test a whole range of gadgets.
That's right, but we began by torturing watches.
We've got two of the toughest watches around, and we'll see which one stands up best to the general abuse of everyday life and beyond.
So we've devised a few rather chilling and nasty wintry tests for them to see which can take the most punishment.
I have gone for this G-Shock Gulfman, and it comes with a great pedigree.
Each watch is shaken, dropped and smacked about to make sure they are worthy of being one of the world's toughest watches. This Gulfman is their latest and toughest. Its titanium case is stuffed full of internal rubber cushioning to keep the mechanism safe.
I want a watch that comes in a box like this, eh? And is used by Navy SEALs.
The MTM Xtreme Op Silver Seals fluid-filled case is made from a solid block of stainless steel. This watch can't be compressed at all by water pressure. The face is made from one of the toughest substances on Earth, and the carbon fibre dial is from NASA.
To test our watch's scratch resistance, we secured them to these mannequin hands and left them to face the might of the road gritter.
You all right, Suze? You want a hand?
With the watches safely secured, it was time to blast them.
Go for it, Andy!
6 cubic metres of rock salt was shot from the gritter at speeds of around 70 miles an hour. My G-Shock has a raised bezel around the outside to protect the face and buttons from direct impact, and the resin body is naturally scratch-resistant.
My Xtreme Silver Seal watch face uses a hardened sapphire crystal, one of the most scratch-resistant substances on Earth.
So, did our watches survive the onslaught unscathed?
Oh, my, look at that.
Mine's looking quite good. It's not scratched at all, look.
Let me have a look at mine, then.
It's looking good as well, isn't it?
Susie, that is looking... God, it is looking good.
They were more than a match for the gritter, so we had to get really nasty with a temperature test.
We attached our watches to fishing rods and sank them into a vat of ice that had been chilling at -20 for a couple of days.
Low temperatures cause the internal workings of a gadget to contract and pull apart, breaking vital connections.
But my G-Shock watch will stay ticking down to a chilly -20.
My Xtreme Ops is filled with a special silicon fluid, except for one air bubble, which takes the full force of any contraction through temperature.
So, how did the watches fare in this super chilled water? Absolutely fine. They were cold, but working perfectly. If we wanted to hurt them, we had to get really brutal.
The final test is to see just how our watches handle shock and impact. We joined Coventry Blaze ice hockey team for a game of five-a-side hockey using the watches as pucks.
Oh, yeah!
No messing about. We went straight into the game with a face-off. We played half the time with one watch, half with the other.
These guys can hit a puck, or our watches, up to speeds of 100 miles an hour.
The G-Shock protects the digital workings, the battery and the LCD with a titanium case and shockproof rubber ring that surrounds the workings. Wait for me!
My Xtreme Ops doesn't have any particularly fancy protection system. It's just built hardcore.
Hey, woo!
But on the ice, my MTM slowly succumbed as bit by bit the strap broke apart.
My G-Shock, on the other hand, was absolutely fine.
Oh, fine!
Until the guys took it upon themselves to get really rough.
A couple of full-power slap shots later, it was all over.
It's broken!
Those boys, they were like dogs on a leash, weren't they, from the beginning? They wanted to whack those watches to within each of their lives.
They hit them so hard, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, neither of these watches claimed to withstand that sort of torture, but they both did so well right up until the end,
They
didn't
did, and I think, though, that, you know, as challenges go on the Gadget Show, this was a fair challenge because, you know, a watch, you'll wear it for 10 years and you'll drop it, it'll fall on a tarmac when you get into the car, you know, or you play sports and it gets slammed. Maybe not quite that quickly within
Maybe
an
not
hour.
at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, but over the 10-year life of a watch, whatever it is, I think it's a fair assessment.
The fact is that both of these watches are incredibly rugged, but which one should you go for?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a chunk of money to spend, then I'd always go for this. That's a classic gentleman adventurer's wristwatch.
Yeah, but if you haven't got a huge budget, I mean, this is a tenth of the price of that, and you want a good, rugged adventure watch, go for the G-Shock.